Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Muscle of Yarn podcast. It's May. I don't know how that happened
Yep.
because April was the longest month in the history of months. But we made it to May. It's Wednesday, which is our new record day. And we are coming to you normally from our yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont. But given the circumstances and social distancing requirements, Kelly is coming to you from the yarn shop, and I am coming to you from an undisclosed location in the woods with somewhat spotty internet service. So but even though, so we are a yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont, we are currently closed to the public in terms of the retail portion of the business for walk-ins is not open, but our online store is open, and you can still shop with us through that. We are offering free shipping on orders over $15, and we do have some limited curbside pickup available, though those need to be coordinated with us because we don't always have somebody at the shop. So you can find the store out on all social media: Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, and the World Wide Web as Must Love Yarn. So please feel free to follow us or join our group on Ravelry, and go check out the online shop. And I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
Sorry, if it seems like there's like a little weird delay, it's because of my internet connection is making me sound like a robot to Kelly, and she can't always hear what I say. So stay tuned for the outtakes for some funny conversation about that.
I wish I could record some of you on my side, because it like makes your voice really tinny and you like stutter and it's like it's really kind of funny.
Excellent. So we're just Kelly's having to just kind of gauge the best she can what I'm actually saying. So it seems to record okay on my end since I'm the one recording. So hopefully that's the case, or not, or it'll be a really funny podcast. Okay, so you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry, as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins, and you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins.
Nice. And we do have podcast mascots, and I actually brought them in. Remember to grab them today. Yay! And now they're getting blown out by the light. Stay away from the light, Meerkats. These are Meerkats. They are our store mascot and our podcast mascots, and they are currently practicing social distancing and wearing masks. Well, not really, maybe social distancing. So this one's Gage, and this is Swatch.
The original.
And this is Stitch. And we've got a few more Meerkats floating around at the store. These are the ones that I have at home with me. And I did post some fun pictures on their Instagram page. So they do have an Instagram page. Feel free to follow their shenanigans out there. Oh, I remember what the funny story was. So I've been making some headbands, and I had like couple different headband projects, like the fabric all cut out and ready to go. And I went to go sew them a couple of days ago, and I was like literally stomping around. I was like, where is the little piece? Like, stuff just disappears around here. Like, people can't keep their hands off of my stuff. So the little pieces were used by me to put masks on the meerkats. forgot I had taken them out of the pile to use as Meerkat masks. Excellent. So I clearly use some other type of fabric because the Meerkats still have their masks. So no shortage of fun times. So Kelly, what do we have for our pick of the week this week?
So for a pick of the week, we have a nice cotton yarn that I know I've mentioned it like almost on every podcast that I'm typically not a huge fan of working with 100% cotton, but this yarn, and I think we've done this yarn before, is 100% cotton. It's Peruvian Pima cotton, but it is the way it's constructed. It's a chain ply cotton. So it has, because of the chain ply, it has some give to it. So it behaves and feels a little bit more like wool when you're knitting with it because it's got a little bit of stretch, or it feels like stretch. It's not like a true stretch to it. So we are doing the Juniper Moon Farm Neve, which is a worsted weight cotton. And those are all the colors that we've got currently in stock. And I did in show notes, because there's so many colors and we've had a number of them, but we are sold out of some of them. In show notes, I put the numbers of the ones that we do have in stock at the moment. Of course, if people start buying them, that could change. But currently, these are all of the colors that we stock. And we do stock some of the other ones on occasion, but we haven't been getting inventory back into the store because we're not receive it. But we're gonna start before too long, hopefully getting some more stuff back in stock. But so let me give you the details on the yarn. It is, like I said, it's 100% Peruvian Pima cotton. They're 100 gram skeins, and there's 222 yards per skein. And they're $11.99 a skein. So you'll get, with the weekly pick that we do, you get 10% off any of the in-stock yarns that you buy. The pick is good for 2 weeks. So the other thing that I'm doing this week is, if you buy the required yarn for this pattern, it's the Campbell shawl, I will include the pattern for free with your order. Nice. So you need, it's a really cute pattern. It's just a nice, I think it's a triangular shawl. And it's just a really good, straightforward, kind of fun garter shawl. So, I know a lot of people have been looking for projects that don't use a lot of bandwidth right now. I know I have, and or patterns that are really good for doing while you're in a Zoom meeting or something like that. So it's a mix of garter and stockinette in the pattern, and then it's got this fun applied, I think it's probably picked up border, because it's knit the opposite way, and it's garter stitch with little triangles on it. So it's super cute. I haven't knit it yet, but typically a $5 pattern, and we're going to toss it in there for free. You need 2 colors, and you need 2 skeins of your main color, 1 skein of your contrasting color. So I took some pictures, and I'll put them up in show notes too, of some of the different combinations that you can do. I was going back to, like in the 80s when we were growing up, when we were kids, the rugby shirts. And I pulled these out, and I was like, total like rugby colors, and it just like brought me back. And I was like, oh, that's so fun. And it's so summery too. It just reminded me of summer. Yeah. And so I really like that. So this was typically the unisex rugby color, like boys and girls wore this. And then the girl one was like a hot pink and navy. Yep. And I just totally remembered that from when I was a kid.
Nice. You could also, that's a worsted weight cotton yarn.
Yeah.
You could use that for that Gretel polo or a tank that I had on
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple weeks ago, because that's a worsted weight one as well.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and there's some really fun colors. You could do this fun like purple and a turquoise. That'd
That
be
is
fun.
awesome.
I know, isn't that great? There's so many good options. You could go kind of monochromatic and do some blues together. So there's some fun options. So check out the colors that are available, because there's more on our site, because there's not an easy way to with our site show the ones that are sold out. Like, it doesn't put a line through them, so all of the colors are going to be in the drop down menu, and then if you click on that color, it'll tell you that it's out of stock. But unfortunately, you kind of have to sift through all the colors. That's why I put the color numbers in of the ones that we actually do have in stock.
That'll help.
So anyway, because I think we've used well, let's just do weekly pick neve, because it's easy.
Yep.
It's so
perfect.
That's the pick this week, and it's kind of nice. I like sometimes in the summer having a little bit of a heavier shawl like that, because if you're going into a place with air conditioning, which who knows if we're going to be like out and about a lot this summer, but even if you go on a hike and you get to the top of a mountain, it's kind of chilly, it's nice to throw on like a heavier shawl. Or if you're on the water, sometimes it can be a lot cooler, so it's kind of fun to,
or even if you're in my house, my first floor stays ridiculously cool during the summer.
No
just
kidding.
The way the house is set up, so you can come inside and be cold occasionally. So yeah, or in your house.
Well,
Perfect. Well, that sounds fun. Super fun. So are you wearing any hand knits this week?
No hand knits for me.
So I did put in show notes last week my where I got my tie-dyed Minnie Mouse t-shirt from, in case anybody wanted to get their own. I'm totally digressing all over the place. So I have my Copenhagen cardigan on. I don't think I've actually worn it on the podcast. I finished it a while ago.
Yeah, I don't think you have. Yeah.
And so it's, you can kind of see, there you can kind of see with the green. It's a fingering and mohair held double. It's a petite knits sweater. The pattern does call for little tiny buttons, and I've been thinking about putting one at least right at the top to just kind of hold the cardigan a little bit closed, but it seems to stay pretty well. There's a little bit of flopping on this button band, but it's not too bad.
Well, it's hard with that kind of fabric too, because it's such a soft fabric anyway.
Yeah.
That it's going to kind of have a tendency to do that.
Yep. And I had bought some ribbon to maybe put to help sew that seam down a little bit. I haven't done that yet. I'm concerned now, having seen the sweater finished, that the ribbon might actually make it too heavy, and that it could potentially weigh down the sweater in a way that I don't want. But I don't know. We'll see. I could play around with it. Could try it, and if it doesn't work, you clip the ribbon off. It's not that big of a deal. It's just the time to sew it down. That's all. So that's what I'm wearing, just because it was a little chilly this morning, and I just wanted to throw something on.
Yeah.
Had my Felix on yesterday for the same reason. Yep. And I do have a finished object.
Woohoo.
Oops, except I got my finger stuck in that sock. Having some technical difficulties here. So I finished the All Points South cowl. Woo!
Nice. That's exciting.
Okay. Sorry. I'm totally backwards on the screen to whatever it is that I'm doing. So I'm having a hard time figuring out what's going on here. So it's all done. And mostly blocked. It's a little damp in a couple places. But it is done. Did I just get really blurry? What's going on? I don't know what's happening today.
I mean, I can't really comment because, you know, I don't, it's been kind of fuzzy on my end anyway.
Oh, fun times. So I am not going to put this on because if I try to put it on over my headphones, it's going to and rip the headphones off and just be a mess. So anyway, it's done. I'm going to try to take some pictures with me wearing it for my project page, but I got that one finished. It's very exciting. Woo! And used up a lot of yarn. So that's a bonus too.
Yeah, it is a bonus.
Exactly. So what you been working on, Kel?
Not a whole lot. Socks. Yeah, I'm still last time I was working on the ribbing on these, and I'm still working on the ribbing on these because I have like done so I did just a couple rows on these. I worked on these on Sunday during the virtual knit group, but I sat outside, so I was kind of just like enjoying being outside. Nice. During knit group. And then so I have worked on these, and then I had a customer who sent me a project that she wanted me to pick up some stitches on. We were actually going to do like a lesson before everything happened for picking up stitches so that she could do it herself. Mm-hmm. But you know, everything happened and things got pushed back. So she is like, well, I'm just going to send it to you, have you pick up the stitches, and then when everything settles down again, I'll come in and do a lesson for picking up stitches. Yeah. So
that's actually one technique or concept that can be pretty tricky if you haven't done it or seen it done before.
Yeah. And getting it to look right, and you know, it just takes practice, like so many things. So
yep.
But
yeah. So I started another sock tube.
Nice.
La, 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 la.
That's fun.
Yeah, this is one of the ones you cranked for me in that big long tube. Of course, it was like in the middle of the long tube.
So you had to unbury it.
I had to, yes, unbury it and then clip it apart from the rest of the big long tube.
Yep.
But I wanted to do this particular one because it reminds.
I wanted that one.
I want this one. It's in the middle. Because it's summery and fun. So this is Turtle Pearl Yarns. She's out of Canada and does this fun like self-striping yarn. And she sends hers kind of like must stash yarn where you get like the perfect pair. So there was actually two.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see, it's getting blown out, but there's a break right here where Kelly started the second skein. So if I knit them the way they're supposed to be, I will end up with two matched pairs, or probably could get, two pairs out of this, maybe a shorty pair and a regular pair, but
yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So, and this one came with a mini skein, so we'll see how this goes.
Ange has not had a good track record with her mini skeins.
No. You know, I saw some on Instagram where the contrast color was used for the cuff and the heel, and then it looked like the toe had been ripped back with the cranked yarn and then knit reknit out of the cranked yarn. And so I was like, that might actually be a good solution for me for this issue. So I might try that.
Yeah. And then you'll know you'll always have enough yarn for the heels or the heels and cuffs.
Exactly. Exactly. So what's been happening to me with some of these mini skeins is I've been running out of yarn. I haven't had enough to be able to do cuffs, heels, and toes. And I've been running out and like just a little tiny bit for like one of the toes on the second sock, which is very weird. I did weigh this and this was 26 grams. So part of it is I was like, gosh, there should be enough there. But anyway, so I'm just having to adjust and figure out some other method for doing this.
Yeah.
So I think that's the new plan. But
yeah.
Fun times. So what happens when you knit by the seat of your pants?
Yep. Well, the only other thing that I did was work on those solid lotion bars that I showed you.
Nice.
So if you guys stay through Outtakes very end of podcast, you'll see those because I show those. But
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I did start a new project.
I did my swatching for the new knit along we're going to talk about.
Awesome.
I haven't finished the swatching though, but I showed it last time.
I did not swatch at all. Which should surprise no one. And so I was gonna cast on so I spent all of Sunday afternoon sitting through continuing legal education classes, because I have to have a certain number of hours every couple of years and to relicense, and I need to relicense at the end of June, and so I needed some hours. So anyway, so 6 hours on Zoom on Sunday gave me a little bit of knitting time. But what happened was I got the All Point South cowl finished, bound off, and then I was like, now what am I gonna do? And so I was gonna cast on the Elton, and I started reading the directions, and I was just like, I can't do this right now. Not that it's hard, it was just like I would have had to pay a lot of attention for some short rows and putting stitches on hold and then casting on new stitches. Anyway, it was just too many moving pieces for what I needed. So that's hence the sock. I was actually clipping this apart from its giant roll and working on a couple of other things, but I decided to cast on the Longitude tee. So that's this one. I think I showed it a few weeks ago with the yarn, and then promptly got distracted by a whole bunch of other things. So I did go ahead and cast that one on, and you guys are going to look at it and you're going to be like, okay, so the Elton was too fiddly, but you're going to work on this one. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just can't explain this stuff, guys, because just my brain is I don't argue with it when my brain is like, no, that's not making sense right now. So this is a slip stitch type sweater. It's bottom up, so there's a huge number of stitches that had to be cast on. Again, like, clearly that's okay for my brain, but some of this other stuff is not. So it's a two color sweater, so like one more solid color and another like variegated color, so kind of makes this really interesting, like almost stained glass window pane kind of effect. So I've just got done with the smaller, like what they're calling like the ribbing, and then have moved on to sort of the larger panels of the body.
Nice.
So, and I'm using this gray, which is One Twisted Tree. So she's not dyeing yarn anymore. This is her Jane Eyre colorway. And then the other yarn that I'm using is from Round Mountain Fibers. And this was some yarn I got when she was doing her Kickstarter campaign for her new dye studio. So I don't actually know if this yarn is available regularly. I think it was just special for the Kickstarter.
I think so. Yeah.
And it doesn't even have a color other than Kickstarter. So, but it's like teals and purples and grays and blacks and blues. So that's what I got.
Nice.
For new project. So that's been pretty fun.
Excellent.
Yeah. But it'll probably get set aside because, as Kelly mentioned, we have a new knit along coming up that we're gonna get started, and I probably am gonna get distracted with that, I think.
Yep.
As one does. As one does.
Mm-hmm.
So you got anything else for projects or upcoming projects?
Big
or
0.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Well, I mean, I have the upcoming project, which I can talk about now, or I can talk about when we talk about the cowl. I don't care.
We could talk about the cowl now and then do both.
Okay, that works for me. So we are going to be starting a new cowl next week, the 14th of May.
Mm-hmm.
And it is in conjunction with Larissa of Green Mountain Spinnery. So it's Green Mountain Spinnery joins up with Must Love Yarn for a cowl. And we don't have an official name yet, but we're going to work on hashtags and getting all that fun stuff. So if you want to tag your projects.
I'm going to put one down in the down bar area that we were joking about, because I think it's more fun if you see it visually as opposed to somebody saying it. So I'm going to throw that one down there, and you guys can let us know what you think.
Okay. Sounds good. So we are, we're going to do like a virtual knit night next Thursday, the 14th. And if you're interested in joining us, you can email us for the link. And Green Mountain Spinnery, if you get their newsletters, they're also going to put it in their newsletter as well. But you're more than welcome to just pop us an email. We are going to be, so next Thursday at 7 to 9 Eastern time. We are going to be knitting Jennifer Steingass patterns. So you can pick any that are appealing to you. I have picked, and I talked about it last time, I picked Mid Coast, and it's a fingering weight. And I'm using Quince & Co. Finch, and this is going to be my main color. And I still forgot to bring the contrasting colors, but they're really bright. One is a very soft pink petal, it's called, and the other one is apricot. So it's going to be a really fun, I think, summer, spring, summer kind of bright, cheery sweater. So nice. I am still swatching, which is fine because we're going to cast on next Thursday. And she's got some great patterns. If you like doing color work, she's got a lot of really fun. I also have Goldwing in my queue, and I've got the yarn to do that too. And I thought about doing that, but since this is fingering weight, I decided to do that to give me kind of a lighter weight sweater to wear for now, if I get it done.
That's always but if we get the challenge.
I know. We're getting that Arctic air down out of Canada right now. And that's what actually may be bringing us snow this weekend, they said, in the mountains where I'm kind of near Lake Champlain. So I probably won't get any. But where Anja, she might see some snow. And so, yeah. So maybe I should have done the worsted weight one, but there are no restrictions on the yarn that you use. Use what you want. If you have Green Mountain Spinnery yarn that you want to use, that's awesome. But we're not we're kind of loosey-goosey on rules as usual.
I think
So.
we had a Zoom call with the two of us and Larissa last night, and somebody, I think it was Larissa, was like, so we're doing the no rules thing. It's like, yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of how we fly.
That's kind of how we roll here. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the only rule is that you've got to use a Jennifer Steingass pattern. And she does, she's got like a mitten pattern, and she's got a cowl pattern. So, if you don't really want to do a sweater, there's a couple of other options there too.
Yep.
But she does have a lot of really cool colorwork sweaters in all different weights of yarn. So worsted weight, DK, figurine. So there's something there for pretty much everybody, I think.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that's going to be really fun. So we've got the first kind of video night set up, and we're going to we may move it around so that more people can, if that particular night isn't good for everybody, then we may do some mornings, we may do some afternoons, just to kind of break it up and do some different times so that more and more people can join us.
Yep.
So I think it'll be fun. And then of course we'll have the hashtags, and we can put a Ravelry group, and I think Larissa's going to do a Ravelry group forum posting for on their site too. So you can find it a couple different places, and there's going to be some overlap, and it should be fun.
It'll be fun. So, and just, a new way to connect with people.
Yeah. And it really is just about connecting, because we really we typically do trunk shows with Green Mountain Spinnery at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. So it's kind of a way to stay connected with them, because they're such a fun group. And, just businesses supporting other businesses, which, we've seen that a lot throughout the whole pandemic, which is really great, because there's a lot of businesses struggling. So the more we can do to help each other, the better it is for everybody. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And I might have some CC's wool yarn babies that could be potentially turned into a sweater. I think I have a fingering weight one, and I have some worsted weight ones. So I might have to pull those out and take a long, hard look and see which of these sweaters I want to knit right now.
That's a good option, because I have I've got a sweater quantity in worsted. I got green, that kind of semi-solid green, a couple of years ago, and then I've got a fingering weight that I got last year. So
yeah,
yarn babies for the win.
Yarn babies for the win. Now I just have to decide if I want a fingering weight sweater or worsted weight sweater, and then that will drive the pattern choices.
I know, I struggled deciding which one I was going to do. I'm like, I'm just going to do the fingering weight. I know, but
so many good options.
I know, there really are.
So we do have a couple of our own cowls. The scrap along, which is supposed to close, well, it was supposed to close tomorrow. No, today. Probably today, because it would have been the day before our normal record day. But since everything's all messed up, y'all have a week extension. So I'll close it next week before we podcast, most likely next Wednesday. And then we also, and then we also have the, what's that other one called? The Cloudsley alum. That was sort of the child of the virtual knit group. I don't actually at this point know how many people are actually knitting that pattern. A whole bunch of people were, and then they all changed their minds. It's fine. It's the way it goes. Same thing's been happening to me. So that one's running through like the middle of June. So you still have plenty of time if you take a look at that pattern and think, oh my gosh, I want to knit this and join in. Still time to do that. And then we've got the new one that Kelly just talked about with the Green Mountain Spinnery. And I'm kind of feeling the need to maybe start like another like shorty sock along. That one went over pretty well the last time we did that one.
Yeah, that was fun.
So
I didn't participate, but it was fun. It was fun to watch.
So keep an eye out for that as well. Probably throw some information up about that in the Ravelry group and maybe get that started. Oh, I don't know, this weekend-ish, Mother's Day cast on. I don't know. It's Mother's Day on Sunday here in the US.
Yep, treat yourself.
Treat yourself, make yourself some shorty socks. So let's do a shorty sock along again. There's tons of patterns. There's lots of new patterns too. So lots of options. I'll pull that list together and get that information up. So lots of things going on. Anything else that we got?
I don't think so.
We have not been given any dates by which the store may be able to reopen. So to the public for retail transactions. So so we don't know. So for the foreseeable future, it's going to be the online store.
Yep.
So it'll totally depend on what the governor says. So I guess thank you to everybody who has been shopping in the online store. We really appreciate it. It's fun to see people's orders come in.
It is. I always, whenever I'm packing them up, like I always just imagine what they're going to be making with yarn. Like sometimes it's pretty obvious, like, you know, with certain purchases, like, oh, that's going to be a colorwork sweater, or that's going to be, you know, whatever. You know, maybe not exactly what the pattern is, but it's kind of fun to imagine what they're making with it. It's fun. So.
Yep. Yes. And then sometimes you're just like, huh. I don't have any idea what that's going to be.
Yep.
So. Yep. Yeah. Well, I don't know that I have too much else. I don't know that I have anything else.
I don't either, but you know, we're having shorter episodes, but we're trying to still pop in and connect with everybody and say hey and let us know what you're working on. And we always love to know. And like I said, don't forget, if you want to join the knit along that starts next week, feel free to email us, and I will send you guys the link so that you can join in on the cast on party for the knit along. So yeah, and it's going to be through Zoom, which is how we do most of our knit groups and things like that. We still have the ongoing knit groups Wednesday evenings from 5 to 7 and Sundays from 1 to 3 Eastern time. So we are still doing those, and if you need that login link, send us an email for that too. We had a whole bunch of people email me over the weekend who wanted to join in. So I typically host the Sunday one. Sometimes I have to hand it off to Jen if I've got things going on. But I'm typically on the Sunday one. The Wednesday one, I usually can't make to because my husband's got meetings that go into the evening. So that time is a hard time for me on Wednesdays. But Jen's in on that one. And but yeah, we hope you can join us. So yeah, if you want to catch up with Jen, you know, you don't get to see her very often, but she's does the Wednesday meetings and meetups and has been on most of the Sunday ones too. So
yeah, I've been able to pop in on some of the Sunday ones. The last couple of weeks have been a little more difficult for me, but the Wednesday
yep.
ones are almost the 5 to 7 time frame is just not gonna happen pretty much
Yeah.
ever at my house. So
Uh,
yay. Yeah. We appreciate everybody stopping by and spending some time with us, and you
yeah.
know, checking in and sending us messages and commenting on the YouTube channel. It's really nice, and nice for us to stay connected with everybody.
Yep, it is.
So.
Yep, near and far. It's kind of fun. The knit groups, we've been getting people that are local to us who shop with us quite a bit locally, and then we have people that, you know, have come to the retreat, or we've had people that, you know, just watch the podcast and want to join in. So it's really kind of fun to be able to connect regularly with people that we don't always get to interact with on a regular basis in the store. So it's been really fun.
Yeah, so
We'll
that
have to, I was just going to say, we'll have to keep, you know, even if we can't if we can't do it weekly, even if we do it every couple of weeks or something, it'd be fun to still do a virtual meetup and stay connected with everyone who's been joining, because there's been some regulars and it's been really fun.
Yeah, and now that we are all getting accustomed to this technology and are getting used to using it all the time, I think will be easier for us to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, Kelly and I always kind of try to do the YouTube lives, and we haven't done those for a while, but I almost like this Zoom format better because it's more interactive and we can have a chance to, you know, talk to people and see what they're working on and really have more of a conversation, as opposed to us just talking and kind of answering questions as people pose them. So
Yep. Cool.
awesome. Well, I think until next time, we'll fingers crossed that we'll be able to pull this off again next week. But I think we've gotten to the point where we're not making any promises because everybody's schedules have been so weird and not consistent lately. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll be in at least the knit along group next Thursday evening. So
yep. I'm planning on that as well.
7 to 9. And then we'll try to sneak another podcast in there somewhere too.
Absolutely. So till next time, thanks.
Stay well, everybody.
Stay well, and we'll see y'all soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we are recording. I got a lot of helpful suggestions from people about the type of needles I could buy for my sewing machine. So that was awesome.
Nice.
After the needle breakage, eye pokage incident. I have had needles break before. I've never had one fly off and hit me in the eyelid, but
yes,
that they do break. They are metal.
They do.
And when they if you're trying to sew something that's too thick, or they've just come to the end of their natural life, like that's what happens. It's a little tiny piece of thin metal. And I had a great story for the podcast, and it was fine because it didn't actually hit me in the actual eye. So I'm all recovered. I'm totally fine. And I have actually sewn again since the incident. So the great needle eye incident. Am I still coming through as Mr. Roboto?
Oh, I'm stuck.
Ew.
There we go.
So did you do anything for Cinco de Mayo yesterday?
Nope, not a thing.
I had a Zoom cocktail hour, and then we had carne asada tacos for dinner.
Nice.
And there may have been some margaritas involved. Maybe. Perhaps. Hard to tell. I have reinstituted, well, never probably was instituted, but have been partaking in nightly cocktail hour at my house, which some days starts at 4 o'clock. So anyway. Anywho, so what's new in your neck of the woods?
Not a whole lot. I mentioned to you last night.
What's up on the west side of Route 7?
I know, right? You and Jen are both on the east side of Route 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned to you last night that I had done some solid body lotion.
Yeah.
So I did some and I put it in a tin.
Ooh.
And
fancy.
it's nice. I haven't used it yet because I might give some away as Mother's Day presents.
Nice.
And it's coming right out of its parchment paper. So hopefully this isn't too loud. And then I have these little molds, and I did one is a sheep.
Oh, cute.
There.
Oh my goodness, that is cute.
And isn't that cute? And then the other one that I did is the one that's deciding to come out. And it's like a little bee. A bee and like looks like honeycomb.
Oh my gosh, that is adorable.
I did those, and they were really fun to do. They're super easy to do. So all natural good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I haven't been doing a whole lot of knitting, but I've been doing a lot of outside work. So we've got this lilac bush, and every couple of years I've got to trim back all the little shoots that come off of it, because otherwise it won't bloom very well if I don't. And also just to clean up around it, because they like to send out all those little suckers and stuff. So I did that yesterday and got all cleaned up around there. It looks much better. And hopefully I'll have lots of lilac blooms because of it this year.
Awesome.
And yeah. So I did that.
A couple of I'm just totally drawing a blank. What are the first ones that bloom in the spring? Usually before they even have leaves on them.
Like forsythia?
Is that forsythia?
The forsythia is yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of those that are taking over at the end of my house, and like every 5 or 6 years I have to go just like literally cut them back almost to the ground. Ew. I see we're gonna have internet issues today. Awesome. We got so smug last week. We were like, oh, it was totally fine and no problems.
Yeah. It's tough when you've got a house full of people that are needing internet.
Right. That also need to use the internet. Yeah. For, work and school and anyway. Yep.
Yep.
I was trying to think. I thought I had another story to share, but now I can't remember what it was. Sorry. I'll probably remember like halfway through, and then I'll just, roll with it at that point instead of in the outtakes. Which sounds about right?
I can only hear like every other word that you're saying, so.
Oh boy. Uh, it's not that Kelly does.
I'll just smile and nod.
As I say, it's not the fact that Kelly doesn't think I'm funny, not funny any longer. It says she can't hear me.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So if Kelly laughs at an inappropriate moment, it's because she thinks what I said was funny, but she couldn't actually hear me.
Oh, you'll be telling me this like really sad, horrible story, and I'll be like, ah. You're like, what is wrong with you?
We get hate mail because we're laughing at things that are inappropriate. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Oh boy. Well, so we have Phoebes that nest on our front porch. And
you have what?
Phoebes.
Oh, Phoebes.
Phoebes. And we also put up some bird houses this year around like the edge of our yard next to the woods.
Yeah.
And we currently have like bluebirds and chickadees fighting over one of the boxes. We've seen both going from one of the bird houses, and two different male bluebirds fighting. And I think residents may also be taken up in the second birdhouse that we have out there. So it's been an active, busy spring in our yard.
Yeah, we've got 2 pair of bluebirds that come back to our property every year. They're really cute. They're not as shy as other bluebirds that I've seen either. They come pretty close up. They'll sit on like our back deck railing. They'll sit up along there.
Yeah, they've been the bluebirds and the chickadees have been driving the cats crazy because they'll fly into the forsythia, which is right next to one of the windows. And the cats are just, at least one of the cats sits in the window and it's just like, I want to chase you. They can't.
Yep.
It's part of the reason why we have indoor only cats.
I know. That's the only thing about having outdoor cats is when they go after the songbirds. That makes me sad.
Yep. Just, it's part of their nature. So, but given where we live,
there's a big
safer for them too.
Yeah, exactly. There's a big black cat that's been coming around our place, and I don't know if it's just a feral cat. It's pretty skittish, so I think it might be feral because there's we've got a lot of farms and stuff around where we are, and so it might be just a barn cat somewhere. And it's I think it got a robin the other day because I found this pile of gray feathers in my yard, and I was like, oh, that looks like robin feathers.
Oh.
And then we've got this darn chipmunk who we had this pair of robins, and they would come back every year, and under our deck they have a nest, and there's 2 different ones under our deck, and they alternate between the 2 of them. And so one year they'll be in one and one year they'll be in the other one, unless it's 2 separate robins, but I don't know. But anyway, there's a darn chipmunk who keeps stealing the eggs from the robin's nest. So
those darn chipmunks.
I know, I have a heart trap, and I'm going to catch him and relocate him to the woods in the back of my property. So little stinker.
We caught a flying squirrel.
Oh, no kidding.
In our mouse trap. in one of our mouse traps in the knee wall inside our house. We didn't even realize we had flying squirrels up here. Apparently we do. And it had gotten in the knee wall, which I show no quarter if you're a rodent and you're in my house. If you're outside, it's fine. But
yeah.
So that was
and squirrels can be super damaging if they get inside your house.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They'll chew wires and chew through walls and dig out insulation. Oh, they're awful.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They've been known to start fires before by chewing through wires.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, we've lived here like 12 years, and I didn't even know we had flying squirrels. So apparently we do. I know.
Huh. Yeah.
But anyway, that was my wildlife report for the week.
We have a skunk that keeps coming around.
Ooh, we don't have any of those yet.
It's probably the one that sprayed Willie last year. It's so funny because it's almost all white. It's really, really white. And then it has just a wee little black stripe on it. It's really funny. I've never seen one that white before.
Interesting.
Yeah, the good news is he's pretty easy to spot because he's so white.
Well, that's true. This time of year, right? In the winter, though.
Yeah. Well, the good news is they semi-hibernate in the winter, so
yep,
you don't see them as often.
Hey, you're almost done with those socks.
Yeah, I really haven't done much knitting. You'll see this is pretty much all and really, I mean, I was on the ribbing last time, so I've only put just a couple rows on. I did work on a project for a customer. She mailed it to me, and I worked on that. But other than that, I really haven't done like any knitting. Been outside so much this time of year. That's usually what happens with me. I'm doing all the outside chores, and I planted some more stuff in my garden. And
nice.
Yeah, so
nice. Though it got really kind of chilly the last couple of days.
Yeah, we had a pretty heavy frost this morning when I got up.
Yeah, I have some friends that live in Jericho, and they got snow yesterday morning. It was like just a dusting, but like.
Yeah, they're talking about snow this weekend.
Yay.
I know.
Oh, boy. Anyway, in other exciting news, I remembered the Meerkats today, so that's good. I'm winning. All right. Should we get the show boat on the road?
Sure.
Or perhaps
I'll let you do a lot of the talking just so that, it doesn't get choppy on my end. Well, for your end.
Okay. Sounds good. You're coming through. You are freezing a little bit, but your voice is coming through clear.
Okay.
So
good.
that's good. All right, let's get this Zoom call on the road. Okay.